want to ask you about. So we sort of talked about it a bit, and Alex, you were like, looking at games to see what they'd be like in terms of streaming. I think, Matt, you were the only one of us who'd ever done any streaming of games before, and even then you did it in a one-off hellish 24-hour period, which seems mad. But we've all had a go at streaming games now. Jem, unfortunately, lives where there's a shit internet connection, so she can't live stream. But you have recorded some and played it for us and talked over it. But we've all done a bit of live streaming now. How do we feel about live streaming games? How is it like? What was it like as an experience? I'm going to come to Alex first.
It's easier than I expected, particularly thinking back to some of our very first live streams as a channel when I did Absu. It was the first time I'd ever done it, and literally for an hour I just thought, oh my god, what am I going to say? How is it going to look? I'm going to be rubbish at it. But actually it just came really easily, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I just talked sort of to these imaginary people in my head as I was playing, and it seemed to work particularly well, which was really good fun. Now, I think there is a level of skill to it which you kind of get to know when you're doing it. It's really hard to describe unless you've done it, but I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. But it's kind of, it just comes fairly naturally, which is interesting. Yeah. I really enjoy it. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as quickly as I did, but yeah, no, it's all I can think about now is, which games would be really good to stream next. So I'm really looking forward to doing more in the future.
And how, because you and Matt have been able to use the PlayStation hot swappy playing together feature, which I didn't even know existed, and I think it's so cool. How have you enjoyed that?
Just being able to swap controls has been really fun as well. So, for example, I think when you joined us, Caroline, I was having some trouble with a puzzle, and then Matt was just like, no, I'll take it there. And he totally solved it in like 10 seconds.
I don't think it was exactly like that wording, but...
no. Yeah, in my head slightly. But yes, no, it was fine. Because you obviously totally spotted the answer straight away. That's always the thing with streaming as well. It takes you ages to spot things that are really obvious to people watching. So cut streamers some slack, because it's really hard to solve puzzles when you're streaming. But no, Matt, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I was going to say, do you feel more positive about streaming now than you did after your 24-hour marathon of streaming?
Oh yeah, 100%. It's just again, it's a live thing. You just press go, and then after an hour you press stop, and then it's done. And the thing I was most pleased by was how much easier it is when you've got company.
For sure.
Being able to go back and forth with someone is really nice, and especially with the God of War, exploring that in a new way with someone else. That's a game that you could write dissertation after dissertation of, and it's so nice to be able to explore games in that new way. As again, with everything that we do, I love talking about games and getting other people's input on games. So yeah, I'm excited about streaming. It's not easy by any means, but it's something that you just practice. You practice it, and it gets easier. Yeah.
Jem, what about? I mean, I feel so bad that you're having to pre-record your streams, so you've not quite got the same experience. But you know, you were on the RimWorld stream with me the other day, and you know, you've done what are your thoughts about streaming games?
I really wish that I could do it. I'm gutted that I can't, and we have looked into it, and it's just not possible. But I think it's quite practically difficult to play a game, especially if it's a bit challenging, and talk about it at the same time. And I did find when I did the Dragon Age pre-record that I was like, it was quite difficult to concentrate on these two things at once. And I think there's definitely skill there, and the people that do it, you know, obviously it's something that you get better at over time. So there are some people out there who are amazing and they're so entertaining to watch and listen to, and it's and I feel like, you know, there's a lot that I can learn there. I do really enjoyed doing when I've been streaming, well, when I've been recording with somebody else. So when I did the thing with Daniel and we did that, I can't even remember the name of the game now, but anyway, we did that one, and that was fun, just to hear us talking to each other. I thought that was quite fun for us to do. But I enjoyed the RimWorld one the most, because that felt like that flowed really well, because it was just nice to be actually live and chatting with somebody else. And I do think that's the thing, and I think that's what I've got from Alex and Matt, you know, that often they're doing streaming together. And I think that's been really fun to watch you both doing that, and the banter that comes from that. I think that for me, that's something that's sort of the joy of it, really. And I'm still quite nervous about the idea of doing something like that. And I think so, you know, and I think it's difficult to feel that I'm the I don't know, that I can say enough interesting stuff. But I think it's been really nice that we've kept most of our sessions to the hour, or that we haven't felt that we've had to go longer than that. So, you know, that's quite nice. You can do anything for an hour, really. So, you know,
yeah. But I think it's interesting what you say about that. Like, it does work better having like two of us talk to you, because I'm hugely resistant to doing things with other people. As I say, I'm an odd sort of introverted extrovert, and like you say to me, Caroline, do you want to come and help you with that? No, I shall do that on my own. No, it's absolutely fine. But when I've done the streams on my own, it's so easy to lose the thread of what you're talking about. Like, because I will be wittering on about something, and then you get attacked by a pig. I'm being attacked by a pig. And this sort of thing that happens, that then I'm like, what was I talking? I have no idea. I'm the worst at losing my thread anyway. And so, like, you put in the concentrating on the game as well. But what was lovely doing the RimWorld one with you the other day, Jen, was because you had questions. I was like, aha, I have this things to talk about. Because when I've done I'm doing a few pre-record streams, or as you guys know, of things like Rust and 7 Days to Die, where I don't want to play them live because there's horrible people out there. And we all know there's good reasons to not play it live. But when I'm doing those on my own, I forget I'm recording, and like 10 minutes of silence can go by. I'm just hitting rocks. I'm just gathering my wood. I'm completely forgotten I'm meant to actually be talking. So yeah. I think there is something valuable in having people there to talk to when they're streaming. And you know, some of the big streamers do it. They have their posse in the chat, but frankly, I think it's nicer to have. It's nice that we can just hop on a link and talk to each other as well. We're just basically, this has just turned into our planning meeting, by the way. It's like we're just basically having an online team